Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Longer version of the Guru Mantra. Take a breath in. Guru Brahman, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahman, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And exhale. Hands down, open the eyes. For those who have just joined us, today we'll probably do a fewer less sun salutations. We're going to hold the poses a little bit longer. Let's begin. Open up the hands. Inhale, arms up. Look at your hands. Drop the shoulders. Stay here. Allow the front of the neck, those muscles to stretch as you relax through the front of the body and drop the shoulders. Feel nicely grounded through the feet. Tuck your rib cage in if it had a tendency to come forward. As you exhale, hands come down to heart center. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Thumbs are touching the middle of the chest. Elbows are relaxed. Still feeling nicely grounded through the big toe and the outer heel. Close the eyes once more. Imagine the rising sun behind the eyelids. This is the time, again, to center yourself before you start your sequence and to find a nice soft breath, a nice rhythm for your body. Open the eyes, release the hands. Inhale up, hands together, stay here. Exhale, feel the position, relaxing the neck. Take a breath in, exhale to your heart. Once you hit the position, this is where you prepare yourself for the back bend. Feel nicely grounded through the feet and the pelvis. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, stay here, drop the shoulders. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, back bend. Keep extending up towards the sky. Try not to clench the buttocks, keep it soft. Inhale, come back to center. Let's hit this nice point of alignment. Now's a good time to drop the shoulders if they tended to creep up towards the ears. Bend the knees. Feel your hips over your heels. If that means you need to lean forward a little bit, go ahead. Exhale, forward fold. First one of the day, it really doesn't matter if your knees are bent. Drop the head, roll the shoulders back. Again, it's about finding awareness. Where can I relax rather than push myself into this position? To step back into the lunge, you lift the head, which causes the back to lengthen a little bit. As you inhale, you step the right foot back. I like to square my hips right here so that when I bring the right knee down, I'm already nicely squared off. Come into your lunge. Now, for those of you who do have some knee issues, it's important that in your lunge, your left knee and left ankle are lined up on top of one another. If you don't have knee problems, you can let the knee come in front of the ankle. But if you do, you want to have a nice 90-degree angle here to preserve the proper positioning of the joint. You still have an active back leg. The top of my right foot is pressing into the mat gently. Let's hold here. In two parts, we come into downward facing dog. As you inhale, you're stepping your left foot back to meet the right, and as you exhale, you're pushing into your downward facing dog. Now, if you like, your feet can be distanced as wide as your mat. Or, for more challenge, your feet are touching each other. Exhale into knees, chest, chin, or child's pose. We won't stay here for long. The inhale, you're relaxing the body all the way down to the mat, and on that same inhale, you're coming into your cobra. Remember what we did yesterday. Focus on the lower back. Try your best not to have too much weight on your hands. The lower back is what is lifting the heart up. Extend the legs down. From here, let's inhale to plank. And now we're in a wonderful position to simply exhale, lift the hips up, and come into downward facing dog. Allow the head to drop. You want to really have nice relaxation through the neck, even as you're pushing through the shoulders to lengthen the spine. Look at your hands. Inhale, step the right foot forward in between your hands, and you come into this lunge. Again, let's be careful about the knee over ankle, active back leg. Head can be in neutral, or you can look up. Little flexion or extension through the neck. To do a really nice flowing step forward, take your back foot, curl the toe under. You shift your weight forward as the left knee comes up. Put a little weight on your hands, and then you push forward, left foot next to the right. Now, before I even go down into my forward fold, I check, are my hips over my heels? So that means for some of us, we need to shift forward just a little bit more, and then I initiate the forward fold. So exhale into forward fold. Now bend the knees. Right here, as I'm bending my knees, I'm really thinking lift the arch, external rotation. So I'm looking right now right at my knees, and I see the distance that they are apart. I want to maintain that distance as I come right into my back bend. Extend the arms, and now inhale, rise up, keep that distance between your legs, elongate the spine, and come back into your back bend. Keep pushing up, shine the heart towards the sky. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you come back to neutral and hands either to your heart, if that feels good, or to the sides. Let's do the left side. Open up the palms, inhale, arms up. Stay here. Lock into this position. Take a breath in and exhale, hands to heart center. Once you come here, do the physical preparation for your back bend. Inhale the arms up. Keep growing tall, grow, grow. And then exhale, back bend. Hold here. Inhale, come back to center. Hit this point. Feel this alignment. Then bend the knees. Right now, as I'm bending my knees, I'm also thinking, okay, keep the distance. And then exhale, forward fold. Always focusing on that nice alignment of hips over ankles as I come into my forward fold. Drop the head, roll the shoulders back. Again, it doesn't matter if your knees are bent right now. Over time, the hamstrings are going to lengthen. Hip mobility is going to increase. This is the left side. I lift my head, which causes my back to nicely lengthen. Inhale, I step the left foot behind me. As I'm stepping back, I'm already thinking about nicely squaring off the hips. Exhale, bring that knee down. Find the lunge, active back leg. Even this front foot and front knee, I'm still lifting the arch. That's going to keep the alignment of ankle and knee. Inhale, step the right foot back, and then exhale into your downward facing dog. Exhale, bend the knees and come right into your knees, chest, chin. Long inhale as you relax the body down and come into your cobra. Elongate the legs, switching the breath. Inhale up to inhale up to plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. This should be a really nice restful pose if we have equal weight on our hands and on our feet. If you feel that it is not equal for you, then you need to close the angle, perhaps make it not as wide, bring your feet and hands a little closer together, or sometimes just widening the feet will help with that weight distribution. Looking at your hands, inhale, bring the left foot forward and stay here in your lunge. Square off. And already as we're finishing this first set of sun salutation, you feel that there is a relaxation and a lengthening through the different joints in your body. Smoothly coming into forward fold, lift the right knee and curl the toes under, and then shift your weight forward, step forward, place the foot, place the hips, and then exhale into forward fold. With awareness, coming into our back bend, bend the knees, extend the arms. Inhale, come all the way up. Finishing your back bend, hold here. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, release. Let's do this again. Open up the palms, inhale, arms up. Hit the point, exhale. Take a breath in, exhale to your heart. Prepare for back bend, inhale, arms up. And exhale, back bend. Inhale, come to center. Hit this alignment point. Bend the knees. Exhale, forward fold with awareness. Lift the head, causing the back to lengthen. Inhale, step the right foot back. Feel nicely squared off here with the hips, and then bring the right knee down, exhaling into your lunge. Active back leg. Inhale, step back, and exhale into downward facing dog. Make your adjustments as you need to, whether that means widening the feet, or perhaps this time you didn't step back as far. If you wanted to have your feet and hands a little closer together to have equal distribution of weight in the front and the back. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. And in one breath, inhale, relax down and come up into cobra. Switching the breath to the lateral breath. Elongating the legs. Focus is on the lower back. Inhale up to plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's be aware of our breath here. Looking at your hands. Inhale, bring the right foot forward. Exhale into your lunge. Hold here. And as you feel your joints loosening up, to deepen this pose, we want to actively push the left hip down towards the mat. That's going to cause a little more lengthening through the hip flexors. At the same time, you're keeping your hips squared, but you're feeling a little pressure at that front of the left thigh coming a little further down. Curl the left toes under, lift the knee. As you inhale, shift the weight forward, step forward, place the foot, place the hips, and exhale into forward fold. With awareness, keeping the integrity of your lower body, bend the knees, extend the arms, inhale all the way up, and exhale into your back bend. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, hands to heart, or just release the hands to your sides. Let's do the left side. Inhale up. Exhale to your heart. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the head. lengthen back, step the left foot back, square off, and then as you exhale, the left knee comes down. Check your alignment. Hold here. Inhale, step the right foot back, and exhale into your downward facing dog. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale up to cobra. Switch the breath. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Looking at your hands, inhale, step the left foot forward. Find your lunge. So it's very normal when we bring that left foot forward, or whatever foot is coming forward, that we don't always hit the 90-degree angle the first time. So it's okay to make a few adjustments. Perhaps you need to bring the back leg a little further back, or scoot with your toes, the front foot a little bit forward. That's absolutely fine. And then smoothly stepping forward, curl the toes under the right foot, lift the knee, shift the weight forward, and kind of give a little hop or walk up. Feet in place, hips in place. Only then do you come into your forward fold. Bend the knees, extend the arms. Inhale, come all the way up into back bend. Keep lifting the heart up towards the sky. Inhale, come to center, and exhale, release. Close your eyes. Find the breath here. Just to really enjoy that kind of tingling feeling we have as we felt all our joints opening up and the muscles warming up, blood circulation increasing, respiration rate increasing just a bit. But at the same time, we felt more calmness and more stillness in our thoughts. And then exhale, release the pose, and take a drink of water, walk around, and then we'll meet for the 9 o'clock session.
Hey, Corinne, thank you. That was very good. I can't come for the 9 o'clock, so that was really good, though. And,
okay, I'm glad it was helpful.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Well, it looks like it's just you and me, Patricia. So I thought what might be good to do today, and it was already in my plan anyway, is to do more of a tutorial class. So let's go through some of the different poses, but spend more time on proper alignment and different modifications that we can do so that it's more comfortable when we're in a faster paced class. So let's open this session
Okay,
again.
I'm here. Thanks. I am listening.
Okay, great,
And
great.
I've changed my mat and things in a way that I think I can see you and see me a little bit better. Okay, so we'll see.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect, perfect. I think that's Carol has joined us.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good, Patricia. Sounds good. All right, so let's come into a seated position that's nice and comfortable.
Okay, I'm going to mute me again just because of people around.
Okay, thanks, Patricia.
I'm listening.
Okay. Carol, today I thought we would do a little slower paced class and more of another review or tutorial of proper alignment modifications of different poses as we go through our class today. So as we find our sitting position, again, just a reminder, you can always sit in a chair. That's perfectly fine. Another way, if your hip is bothering you, and I know I sat like this for, 5, 6, 7 years, is I sit the edge of my butt on the edge of a mat, which causes my hips to come forward a little bit, and that eases some of the tension in the hip, especially before and after my hip surgery. This was really helpful. So it's really at the edge of the blanket. And then when my knees were still bothering me because my hips wouldn't open, I put a block underneath this too. And then because that was still all hurting and my ankles were bothering me, I would put a little rolled up washcloth underneath my ankle. So there's many ways to find a comfortable seated position. So in this position, let's bring our hands into Chin Mudra. Palms open. Allow the hands to comfortably curl or come into whatever position. When we willfully have the palm open and the fingers straight, this is a different mudra. But we're in Chin Mudra. Close the eyes. As you breathe, let's do our best to release tension in the chest and just feel the movement in the lower belly. Now, of course, as you breathe, there's going to be movement in the middle and upper chest. But right now, we're trying to focus on simply letting the belly be relaxed. When we release the tension in the abdominal muscles, the diaphragm can also relax and we can get a deeper breath. Keeping awareness of that relaxation, inhale, bring our hands together, Anjali Mudra. Equal weight on both hands, palms and fingers touching as best we can. Sometimes we have arthritis in our wrists or elbows, so it's not always possible. Thumbs are together, lightly touching the chest if you can. And sharing the pranava 3 times. Take a breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sharing the shorter version of the Guru Mantra. Take a breath in. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And let's just sit quietly. In a yoga practice, sometimes it's these quiet moments where the transformation or the magic happens. So, as my teacher says, allow the allowing by just allowing yourself to be in stillness and let it happen. Even if all that you're letting happen is giving yourself permission to do nothing. And exhale, release. All right, there are a lot of yoga positions, especially breathing and meditation or mantra, where we're sitting like this. Now again, even with props, it may not be comfortable. So, Dandasana, staff pose, is a wonderful way to do a lot of your sitting poses. And modified Vajrasana, remember this one? This is also a great way. So you can kind of play with your seating positions. All right, let's come to a standing Tadasana. Tadasana, toes or feet are hip width apart. Little attention to the big toe outer heel, which causes the ankles to come in towards one another. As they come in, we consciously think about turning as a whole unit the leg outward. That opens up the hips here and keeps the knees in line over the ankles. If we felt that we're arching our back a little bit to hold this position, let's do a little pelvic tilt where I bring focus to my abdominal muscles to bring the hip pelvis forward. At the same time, inhale and exhale the shoulders behind you, nice soft gaze in front. Open up the hands, inhale the arms up, look straight, drop the shoulders, and exhale, release. Let's do that again. Inhale up, and exhale down. This time, let's lift the chin up to look at the hands, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. As you inhale, you pass through the neutral position, and now let the head drop back. Look at your hands. Exhale, release, and you just return. So keep doing that a few more times on your own rhythm. Sometimes as we get older, we tend to get that little bit of a humpback. That's just because our muscles have gotten a little short and contracted, and this is a wonderful way to reverse that process. And let the neck muscles and the upper back muscles simply relax. As you come down, the chin comes towards the chest. One more time, inhale up. And exhale down. Sorry, I got a dry throat. Do the same thing to the right, where your head looks to the right and the left. Same thing with awareness about relaxing the neck. I'll join you, but you keep your rhythm. One more time on the right and the left. And you may notice that one side is a little freer than the other to do this. That's because we hold a lot of tension in our neck and upper shoulders sometimes. And that tension can be emotional tension, or sometimes it's just habitual actions over the years. All right, I'm going to do the left side and then I'll meet you in the center. So just this simple movement is so beneficial. I think I remember telling you guys that at one point I couldn't even lift my arm up and down. And so I'm grateful for every movement I have. And these slow movements have a lot of physical benefits. All right, let's open up our legs, maybe 3 feet apart. Now, if you look at whatever naturally you opened your legs, for some of us, our feet are parallel to the short side of the mat. For others, because of our hip and spine alignment, we might have just naturally gone to what I call the duck position, where your toes are pointed out, and for others, the pigeon toe, where they're pointed in. All right, it's just something to observe. Where are your hips when you're not really thinking about it? So let's bring both feet parallel right now to the short side and see how that feels in your hips and your spine. If you're feeling a little crooked, meaning that one side of your body, the muscles are a little shortened and the other lengthened, then just close the feet, the distance a little bit until it feels comfortable to have both hip points forward and feet parallel, okay? It's going to be different every day and for every person. Let's come into a warrior two. My left leg is going to stay exactly where it is. If I look at my left foot, it's parallel to the mat. My left knee is going straight towards the long side of the mat. Left hip is nicely squared. Keeping my hips squared, I simply lift up the right toes and swivel that right foot so it's pointing towards the short side of the mat. As I do that, again, I check, are my hips still pointing forward? Are both knees externally rotated? If you find that it's really hard to hold this position, shorten the distance between your feet. Inhale the arms up on the line and drop the shoulders down. We should be able to hold this for 5 minutes. We try not to introduce tension into the neck or the upper shoulders because those muscle groups are not holding our arms up. Bring your attention to your shoulder blades. See if you can contract the muscles by the shoulder blades to draw the shoulder blades down and towards the spine. At this point, you look to the right, and then exhale, bend that front knee. Take a look down. Is your knee over your heel? Are you still rotating both knees behind you now? That's external rotation. Maintaining nice squared hips. If you're having a problem, again, just shorten the distance between your legs. I have done warrior two literally with my feet no more than 1 foot apart until I had better and more mobility in my hips. That's perfectly fine. And what's really nice is that maybe you don't have a really wide open warrior two, but you're still using your core muscles to hold your torso up straight. You're finding awareness in your shoulders. You're relaxing the neck. You're finding mobility in the neck as you're looking to the right. So there's so many things, other benefits of warrior two than just the lower body. So let's see if we can hold this for another 8 breaths and be relaxed. For 8. 7. Remember, if your arms get tired, bring the focus to your shoulder blades. If that doesn't work, go ahead, bend the elbows and come into cactus arms. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Let's swivel to the other side for the left warrior two. Inhale both arms up. Now, as they come up, I look forward. Then I swivel in my right foot, swivel out the left foot, stay right here, make sure you're nice and squared. As I exhale, let's just bring our arms down on the line once more. Shrug the shoulders up and back. Look to the left. Exhale, bend that left knee. Make adjustments as you need. To make sure that we're not dumping our weight into our feet, both legs are active, meaning I'm lifting the arch, external rotation. I'm trying to be nice and light from my spine, growing out of my pelvis, so that I'm not dumping weight into the pelvis or the feet. You should feel equal tension on the left and the right foot. If you do not, think about lifting the arch of both feet. If that doesn't work, shorten the distance. Now, for some of us, when we hold tension in our neck, it's hard for us to look completely to the left over the middle finger of the left hand. Don't worry, if that doesn't work for you, maybe you're looking more at a 45-degree angle. That's fine. Over time, you're going to gain the mobility in your neck. Let's hold this for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come into a front straddle. Inhale the arms up, look forward, and now you straighten that left knee, swivel the foot in. All right, in a front straddle, your feet are parallel to the short side of the mat or slightly pigeon-toed. Let's come down in a reverse. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't speak today. In a swan dive. So as you exhale, hands come down on the line, shrug the shoulders back. Let's try and keep our shoulders in this position. As we exhale, bend at the hips, come down, keep extending the arms out to the side. Now when you get halfway, there's a tendency for the back to round and the hands to come down a little bit. Do your best to keep your arms fully extended as you come all the way down, and then release the hands to the mat. Ideally, toes and fingers are in line with one another. But if that's not possible and you can reach the mat, go ahead and have your hands in front of you. That's cool. Maybe with hands in front of you, your elbows can touch. Relax the head down. Now at this point, we all have a tendency to let the shoulders fall towards the ears. Let's engage those muscles by the shoulder blades and bring the shoulder away from the ear. The more we practice this movement and this awareness, the easier it's going to get over time. And we'll develop those muscles and take the strain away from the neck and the upper back. And also, over time, straighten that upper spine, because the muscles are no longer pulling unevenly over the spine. Let's stay here. It's a lot of work as you're constantly keeping your shoulders from falling towards your ears, at the same time extending the spine towards the mat, dropping the head, relaxing the neck. It's quite an active pose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse swan dive. First, you lift the head, which causes even more lengthening through the spine. Inhale the arms out to the side, shrug the shoulders back, palms are down right now. As you inhale again, palms come up towards the sky. You straighten up, hands touch over your head if possible, and then exhale, release the hands down to your thighs. Keep your hands on your thighs, toe heel, back to Tadasana. Go through the physical characteristics of Tadasana. Again, the more you practice this, the more automatic every time you come to a standing pose that you're going to stand in a beautiful alignment. All right, let's come to the top of your mat and let's go through Warrior One. I'm in Tadasana here, shifting the weight to the left so I can free up the right foot. I simply take that right foot and I step back behind me. First the toe touches, then the heel. As the heel comes down, I square my hips towards the short side of the mat, towards that front leg. Now, if you're feeling unbalanced, you can widen your feet in terms of the left foot will be towards the left side of the mat, the right foot towards the right side of the mat. They don't have to be all in one line, one behind another, okay? Over time, you'll be able to stand with both feet together. In one line, down the center line of your mat. All right, let's check. Our hips are nice and squared. Now, with the distance between your feet, do you have equal weight on the left and the right foot, or the front foot and the back foot? If you do not, see if you can adjust it, or perhaps you have to bring the right foot a little closer to the left. That's fine. Is your pelvis nicely balanced between both the front leg and the back leg? If not, shorten the distance. Once you figure that out, open up the palms. Inhale the arms up. At the top, drop the shoulders. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend that front knee. Take a quick look down. Is your knee over your ankle? Lift the arches. So I feel that my arches are being lifted, which causes a nice external rotation of both knees and both hips. That really, really helps with the balance. It also takes away tension over the knee if your knee is bothering you. Let's hold here. If there is a tendency to let the rib cage come forward, because what's happening when your rib cage is coming forward, you're compensating for the balance of your pelvis and your lower back. Try and do a little pelvic tilt here forward, which is going to bring the pelvis underneath the spine. But that's going to cause some tension in the hip. So if you have problems of mobility in the hip, this is where you're going to feel it. So that's where you need to play with the distance between your front leg and your back leg. Hold here, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come back to Tadasana. Shift your weight forward, coming up onto the toe of the back foot. And then inhale, step forward, hit that Tadasana, and exhale, release. Let's do the opposite side. Shift your weight to the right just a little bit to free up the left. As you inhale, you step back, first the toe, then the heel, straighten the knees, square off the hips, make adjustments in the distance, the width, and the vertical distance between both front and back leg. Feel that your hips are nicely centered between both legs. Open the hands, inhale the arms up at the top, exhale, drop the shoulders. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, bend that front knee. Take a look down. If you need to make an adjustment here, go ahead. Usually one hip is a little bit more open than the other. Once you find your position, strongly think about lifting the arch, rotating the knees and the hips out for stability and alignment. Tuck the rib cage in with a small pelvic tilt and hold. Have a nice soft gaze in front. Again, that's also helpful for balance. Let's hold here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to Tadasana, come onto the toes of the back foot. That automatically shifts your weight a little bit forward, and then step forward, hit the Tadasana mark, and exhale, release. Let's review triangle. Triangle is a pretty technical pose, and we really want to protect our knees. So come into the middle of your mat in Tadasana. Already automatically you're hitting those nice anatomical points. Let's open up our feet. Again, maybe 3 feet wide. It's going to be a little different for each person. Back foot is parallel to the short side of the mat or slightly pigeon-toed. You can be pigeon-toed as long as your knee and hip don't come in, okay? Right foot, just like Warrior Two, lift up the right toes, point it towards the short side of the mat, square off. So in triangle, just like Warrior Two, our hips are squared towards the long side of the mat. Now, in triangle, there is a tendency to hyperextend that front knee. So to avoid that, I contract this right thigh. At the same time, I really strongly think about external rotation of the hip and the knee at all times. All right, so go ahead and find that awareness. Then inhale the arms up on the line, look to the right. With that awareness, as I exhale, I simply shift my torso over that front leg. Now, as I shift, I try and keep in the same plane over my feet rather than letting my torso come forward or backwards. So just this is a wonderful awareness. Don't let go of awareness of that back leg. Turn the palms facing forward. Now, as you exhale, you simply bring the left arm up, the right arm down. It's a little bit of a spinal twist here. You can look up towards your left hand, neutral, or down at your feet. And as we gain in mobility, we can go further and further down. What you want to do is not let your back hunch. You really want to have a nice straight spine. So we're extending the spine over that right foot. If you find that you're losing awareness and strength of that front leg, then come out. To come out, bend the front knee first, and then you just come up and you end up in a Warrior Two. All right, so let's come up into Warrior Two because we held that for a while. We'll go through the same thing on the left side. Inhale the arms up, face forward, swivel. Left foot is in position. We're nicely squared off. Exhale, simply bring the hands down first. Look to the left. Find awareness of the left thigh and external rotation. As you exhale, shift the weight. Now, as you're shifting the weight, you may feel a little bit of popping in your hips. That's normal. That's just the ligaments saying, oh, okay, fine. Guess we're doing something different. All right, you've got a nice awareness so you don't hurt your front knee. Turn the palms forward. As you exhale, come into the pose. Right hand comes up, left hand down. There's a bit of a spinal twist here. Try to keep your spine straight. It doesn't matter how far you go down. You know, some people are down here and, yay, it looks great, but you want to keep your spine straight no matter where you are. Hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out safely, first bend that front knee, and then inhale, and you come back to Warrior Two. You're looking at the left hand. Coming back to Tadasana, inhale the arms up, square off to the front, bring in the left toe, arms are extended up high, toe heel, Tadasana with arms extended. Drop the shoulders. And while we're here, let's come up onto our toes. So the trick here is to try and keep the same alignment that you have right now of your pelvis over your big toes, shoulders nicely relaxed as you come up on your toes. So find a focal point in front to balance yourself. Soft gaze there, and then inhale, rise up on your toes. Some of us have a tendency, like I do, to bring the weight to the little toe. Others the opposite. You want to keep it nicely distributed between the big toe and the little toe. Drop your shoulders. They're not lifting you up. See if you can keep extending through the hips and the spine. When our hips are tight, we have a tendency to let the butt come out a little bit and arch the back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the hands out. Exhale, gently come back down. Beautiful. So you will have noticed that every time we're in a standing position, it's the same anatomical characteristics of lift the arch, which means bring the ankles towards one another. At the same time, as a unit, I'm feeling external rotation or opening up of the hip and the knees. That's what's going to keep my alignment, whether I'm 1 foot, 2 foot, whether right foot is in front or in back. It really doesn't matter. Let's keep that awareness as we come into a chair pose. Feet are hip width apart. I turn sideways, but you guys can stay the way you are. All right, I have soft knees right now. I'm really thinking about all the anatomical points of alignment. Open up the hands. Inhale the arms up. From here, as we exhale, extend the arms in front of you, shoulder height, palms down. Sitting into our chair, take a breath in. As you exhale, sit in your chair. Do not lose sight of lifting the arch, external rotation. Now, for some of you, it's okay if your knee is over your ankle as long as you can still see your toes. For others who have more issues with their knees or hips, you want to keep it at 90-degree angle and then sit. So it's easier to balance when we're first learning the pose if our arms are in front of us. But notice my back is still straight. I'm not hunched or curled around. If you find that happening, then come up a little bit until you can hold a straight back. All right? It's always a balance between right and left, upper and lower body. So you want to find, where can I keep a nice long back and still sit? Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release your hands. We're going to repeat, but this time with our arms up over our head, so you can really feel the lengthening of your spine when your arms are extended. Alrighty? So I'm in position. Go through your points. Lift the arch. Feel a nice external rotation through the lower body. My knees are soft. Gently tucking in the pelvis, rib cage is in line. Soft gaze in front. Open up the palms. Inhale the arms up. At the top, release the shoulders. Maybe your hands are touching or maybe they're just close together. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to sit. Don't lose sight of your ankles, knees, and hips as you come down. Now, it's quite normal as we come down that our torso is going to come over our thighs a little bit. That's fine. Once you come down to where you're comfortable, you may notice that you have arched your back just a little bit to achieve this. So, try and do a little pelvic tilt right here. Not too much because you don't want to lose stability of the pose. But that will help lengthen the back. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise up. Hold here, hit the points. Exhale, release. Let's talk about tree pose. Tree pose, again, it's the same thing in terms of the standing leg, holding that integrity. It's a hip opener because we're opening the hip up the bent knee. Now, tree pose can be exactly what I'm doing right now, where I have the toe down, so I have more stability. Look at my left hip. I'm not letting it come out. I'm still keeping it underneath me. To the best of my ability, my hips are squared forward, and this right knee is open to the outside. Now, because I have hip issues, you can see, look where my knee is. It's like at a 45-degree angle. You know, ideally it's here, but I can't do that without twisting my hips. So to keep my hips square, this is where my knee is. What is important is the integrity of your standing leg, and over time, the relaxation of this hip joint is going to allow the knee to rotate fully. So just watch. This is number one, where you're holding the balance point with the right toe down. Number two is maybe you're at the ankle, below the knee, or holding the leg above the knee, which I can't do with this hip because it doesn't open. So you have different places where you can have the foot. It is never on the knee. Because if you put the foot on the knee, that's going to put the joint out to the left and the hip out to the left and the ankle out to the left, and that's where you have problems. All right, Tadasana. Remember, in every balanced pose, we have a nice focal point in front of us to help. Go ahead, bring your hands to your waist. Soften the knees. Inhale, shift your weight left. Now, even as I'm shifting my weight left, you'll notice that my hip is not popping out. Once I shift to the left, I can free up the right foot and place it in position. So wherever you are today, again, sometimes there's a tendency to let the butt pop out to the back. Bring it back into alignment with a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Really keep lifting up out of the standing leg, hands at heart center. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To come out, take the right foot off. First, put the right toe down, then the right heel. Shift the weight so it's equally between both feet. Relax the hands. Same thing on the right side. As I inhale, I shift my weight right, freeing up the left toes. Place the foot wherever it is that you place it. Hands at heart center. Slight pelvic tilt. Keep lifting up through that standing leg. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. To come out, gently bring the left toe down first, then the heel. Shift the weight equally, and release the hands. Very nice. Let's come onto our mat. I'd like to go through the mechanics of a spinal twist, and these are things to think about when you're doing your spinal twist with us in all the different variations. So on your back, arms are extended out to the side, palms up. Take a look right now. Are your hands in line with your shoulders? Activate your legs. Let's use that pelvic tilt and float the knees over the hips. Take a breath in, exhale, contract, feel that bit of a tilt, bend the knees, and they come right over our hips. As you exhale, naturally just let your right knees, or your knees fall to the right, you look to the left. Don't make any adjustments here, just let it happen. So this right here is where your body is naturally today. This is where it just automatically fell into. Turn your head and look at your knees. Are your knees stacked up on one another? For most of us, they are not. So what does that mean? That means that my top leg, I can see that actually right now there's probably 3 inches difference. So the top leg is behind the bottom leg, which means if I look at my hips, they're no longer stacked up on one another either. So stack your hips up, which means both knees are on top of one another right now. So go ahead and do that. Relax the head down on the mat. Take that top hand, face it up towards the sky, stretch up. Keep looking at your knees. As you exhale, allow the left arm to come back behind you on the mat, which is going to bring the left shoulder down, which is going to bring a little bit of a twist in the spine. At some point, you're going to realize that this is as far as I can go. At that point, this is where you start playing with it. Let your head turn up towards the sky. See if that allows you to find a little deeper twist. Now, sometimes if we've been doing a lot of push-ups or even downward facing dog, we have developed the pectoral muscles to the point where that is what is holding us back. Like right now, I can't get my shoulder down. And I feel that the muscles in around my shoulder and my chest are what's holding me back. Sometimes we feel that what is holding us back is in the deep hip joint or somewhere along the back. Again, this is where you start playing with it. So from wherever you are, as you inhale, take that left arm and lift it up over your head, but not towards the sky, on the mat. See if your back of the hand is touching the mat overhead. As you exhale, keeping contact with the mat, try and lower the arm all the way down to the hip with your arm extended and the back of your hand on the mat. Now, I cannot do it. I realize that as I make this movement going up and down with an extended arm, there are points where the hand is touching the mat and points where it is not. Just keep going slow with this movement, and this is going to help free up from the hip to the pectorals to the neck. Go slow. As you inhale, the arm tracks up, doing your best to keep extending the arm, keeping the back of the hand in contact with the mat. And as you exhale, just reverse. If you find that there is a lot of discomfort in the hip joint, go ahead and put a block or a cushion between your thighs. Still trying to maintain that alignment of knee over knee, but you can open up the hip that way. All right, let's bring our arm into the position where there is the most discomfort, but we can stand it. And just hold there. Do your best not to fidget, because every muscular contraction, even in another body part, introduces tension and contraction where we're trying to relax. So stay nice and still. 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you exhale, extend the arm out to the side in the original position and let your knees slide back to wherever it's comfortable. Just hold here for a few breaths. We want to allow the body to readjust and come back into equilibrium. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Take a breath in. First, exhale, contract the abs. Feel that little bit of a pelvic tilt. Legs float up to center and to the other side. Just let them fall wherever they are. To the left, you're looking to the right. And now let's gently bring the head to look at the knees. Bring the knees in alignment, one over the other. Just doing that because I'm so stiff, I had to lift my head. My right shoulder is up, my right hand is near my hip, just so I could get my knees in line. All right, from here, relax the head, extend the right arm up towards the sky. As you exhale, let the right arm come back behind you, causing the right shoulder to drop. And you feel a little bit of a twist in the spine. And of course, the head is turning a little bit too, maybe up. Look at your knees gently. Are they still stacked? Okay, here's where we play. As I inhale, I extend the arm overhead, trying to find contact with the mat. As I exhale, I gently extend the arm back to the side and then down towards my hip. Keep going, nice and slow. Slower is better because that way we can't escape any moment of the movement and we're aware. Sometimes when we have pain, if we move quickly, we can escape awareness of that pain, but we're not trying to escape. We're trying to identify, accept, and then work within that discomfort to create relaxation. So we may want to do this movement of the arm maybe 8 times. And I'm sure that by the 4th and 6th time, you're going to feel some release of tension somewhere in the body. Maybe not all together. All right, let's find the point where we can stay in stillness. Sometimes it's not the point where there is maximum discomfort. Sometimes we have to go a little bit below that point so we can stay in stillness and hold. And let's come back to a nice relaxed position, wherever that is. Bring the hands into original position. Let the knees slide back a little bit if they want to. Gaze is towards the right. Hold here. Coming out all together, take a breath in. As you exhale, contract the abs, feel that little bit of a tilt, float the knees to center. And from here, inhale, hands to your knees, and then exhale, knees to chest. As you come into this position, chin is in neutral position. Try and widen your shoulders down to the mat. Release tension in the lower back, the hips and the belly. Take the weight of your legs into your biceps. Now, for some of you, you can keep your knees together as you do this. For others, you may want to widen the knees on either side of your body. It's all good. What we're trying to do here is elongate the spine and open up the hip. Ideally, our spine is touching the mat from the coccyx, the base of the spine, to the base of the neck. Then the neck is free with that natural curve, and then the back of your head is touching the mat. Sometimes when our back holds a lot of tension, our butt is up in the air right now as we bring our knees to our chest. How do we know if that's happening? Take one hand and just take it behind your hip and find that last bone right here of your coccyx. See if it's touching the mat or close to the mat. If it is not, then maybe we need to release the knees and not have them so close to the chest. Then once you feel that your spine is touching the mat, gently start bringing your knees towards the chest. But at the point that you feel that your butt is rising up off the mat, that's where you need to ease up. And just try and relax into the pose and let the hip joint open up on its own. So you see, this is what I'm talking about. There's always a play of tension and relaxation in these positions. If you find that you're feeling tense in the upper back and that your head wants to lift up off the floor, you want to round your shoulders, you can always put a cushion underneath your head right now. That'll help relax the upper shoulders. Again, as I said, in our old age, we tend to round the shoulders. So we want to promote relaxation there. The way to do that is just lift the head off the floor just a little bit. Coming out of the pose, take a breath in. As you exhale, keep your knees bent and plant the feet behind your butt. Your arms are extended, palms down by your hip. All together, let's go through the process of coming into Savasana, which is called the corpse pose. The corpse pose is where we have a relaxed awareness position. So to do this, again, using a pelvic tilt, let's lift our hips gently off the mat. So all together, take a breath in. Exhale, contract the abs, feel that little bit of a tilt, and then lift the hips off the mat. At this point, I'm going to tilt, again, the hips a little bit longer, which is causing my spine to elongate even more. And now gently bring the hips down to the mat with that nice lengthened lower spine. From here, lift the right foot off the mat, extend the right knee, extend the leg down the mat, and gently put it on the mat. So now my right leg is down and I feel a nice lengthening through that front hip flexor. Same thing with the left. Take the left foot off the mat, straighten the knee, lengthen the leg, feel some lengthening and opening in that left hip, and put the left leg down. Extend both arms up, clasp the hands in front, lift both shoulders gently off the mat so you feel a nice lengthening through the shoulder. Release the hands, palms up on either side of your body, and gently bring them down on the mat. Feel as if somebody is grabbing your wrists and really lengthening your arms as they come down the mat. Now, if you can lift your head off the mat by yourself, go ahead, lift it off the mat, tuck the chin, look down your body. Now you feel how you just lengthen the back of your neck. As you exhale, try and keep your chin and your gaze down your body as long as you can as you bring the head back down to the mat. Allow the hands and shoulders, feet and hips to roll a little bit to the outside, whatever is natural for you. Eyes are probably already closed. And this is your Savasana. Now that all being said, if you feel tension in the lower back, go ahead and put a cushion underneath your calves or your thighs. If you're feeling tension in the upper back and neck, put a cushion underneath your head. And then let's just stay here. Find a nice even breath. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Coming out of our Savasana, first just observe your breath and any thoughts or emotions, sensations you're feeling, just observe them. And then begin to move the toes and ankles, fingers and wrists, knees and elbows, hips and spine. Gently align the head to roll from side to side. And then all together, roll over to one side. Stay here for a few breaths. This is to allow the body time to change from being in a totally inert position to waking up again. So for the circulatory system, the central nervous system, we want to gradually wake it up without a shock to the system. Just like runners, they need time to cool down. It's the same thing. We're changing our state of awareness. And then using your hands as support, take a breath in, and as you exhale, push up. Find a nice, comfortable seated position using the props that you may need. So a quick word about Savasana. Savasana is a culmination of your practice where you had physical focus, physical effort. And now in Savasana, called the corpse pose, what we're trying to replicate and have a state of awareness is where we're no longer putting effort into physical, mental, or emotional actions. We're simply trying to be. So we no longer have muscular tension and contraction. We no longer have emotions and sensations saying, oh, this feels good, or oh crap, this feels crappy, or whatever. We're trying to detach from all of that and just be in a state of awareness where we're just our consciousness, nothing else. So that's why Savasana is really important, because you just used an hour or an hour and a half of a practice to get to the point where you can relax enough, where your central nervous system is no longer being irritated by this, that, or the other thing, but you're in total state of relaxation. And that takes a lot of discipline to get to that point, and people spend years in a yoga practice trying to perfect their Savasana. So we only have time to do it for 2 or 3 minutes, but eventually that is where we're trying to go. So to end our class, inhale, bring our hands to heart center, close the eyes, sharing the pranava one time. Take a breath in. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Exhale, bowing down to the teacher within. And inhale, gently come back up. Let's open our eyes. We're in the state of awareness where we're back into our body, ready to continue our life.